Have Iltejaa Mufti, PDP chief, joining us on the broadcast. Okay, I have Iltejaa Mufti now joining us on the broadcast. As a young leader from Jammu and Kashmir, Iltejaa Mufti, your thoughts on the terror attack that has just taken place, Iltejaa?
Well, it's extremely shameful and it's highly condemnable, and such acts of senseless violence have no place in our society. And my heart goes out to the families of these tourists because, little did they know. So many of these tourists, they can't even afford coming here. They save up a lot of money, they then come here. So it's something that's extremely tragic and unfortunate, and, the way things played out today. And I would appeal to the Home Minister to immediately, constitute a probe and inquiry to get to the bottom of this, who is responsible for this. Because Baicharan is a very popular tourist spot and it's relatively safe because you don't just have CRPF personnel manning this place, you also have local police there as well. There's a huge army presence as well in Pahalgam, so it is extremely shocking.
You're absolutely right on that account, that this has a tremendous security forces presence. As a leader who knows that area well, who's traveled that area well, whose family knows that area extremely well, Iltejaa Mufti, what is your appreciation, what is your understanding about who the perpetrators could be and what is the best way forward?
Well, honestly, my guess is as good as yours, and I would also appeal to the media not to unnecessarily speculate, right now, because what speculations will do is that it will just trigger this wave of panic amongst tourists here, because let's not forget, you don't just have tourists in Pahalgam right now, you have tourists throughout Jammu and Kashmir, visiting the valley, visiting Jammu, visiting parts of Kashmir, and my guess is as good as yours, so which is why I would appeal to the security agencies to immediately constitute a probe.
Yeah, because it just defies logic. Why would anybody target tourists and at this time, one, peak tourist season, two, before Amarnath Yatra? This is something that everybody in Jammu and Kashmir and the rest of the country looks forward to, this tourist season, Iltejaa Mufti.
Absolutely, and it doesn't help anybody, least of all Kashmiris, because as you know, tourism and horticulture is what keeps our, economy going. Tourism is pretty much, the backbone of Jammu and Kashmir's economy. So even locally, people here suffer a lot every time an incident like this happens. So this is something that is going to, have ramifications for everybody. It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. It's a senseless, mindless act of, vicious violence.
A senseless, mindless act of vicious violence, as you put it, because I'm sure you too have heard that eyewitness, that lady who lost a family member or the family member was grievously injured, where she said that the terrorist asked for the name and then shot them at virtually at point-blank range. But what's also a fact that locals and tourists both have been injured in this dastardly terror attack. Somewhere down the line, how does one ensure that, that fear, that wave of fear doesn't return to the valley?
I mean, look, to be honest, for the past 6 years, that responsibility has been, at the doorstep of the Home Minister and the Union Home Ministry. So that is the question that I cannot give you any answers for. Even right now, even though there's an elected government, law and order is not under their domain. So this is something that, we will have to ask our security officials, our security agencies, that why, despite such an overwhelming security presence, you have troops, in lakhs, if not thousands right now, currently patrolling all of Jammu and Kashmir. So how is it that something like this happened in broad daylight in a tourist hotspot like Baicharan?
Iltejaa Mufti, that's a very pertinent point you make for joining me here on India Today. PDP leader Iltejaa Mufti, many thanks.